In this video, we're diving into how to bulk create digital certificates and badges that look professional, are easy to verify, and can be sent out automatically without spending your whole weekend manually editing PDFs and emailing people one by one. What's going on, everyone? My name is Eric Hunsker, and on this channel, we cut through the fluff to help you make smarter software decisions and build cleaner systems for your business. We've partnered with Certifier on this video. That said, I'm going to show you the actual product, the real workflow, and where it's strong. And I'll also call out a few things to think about so you can decide if it fits what you're doing. All right, let's get into it. Why manual certificates break the second you scale. If you've ever issued certificates the classic way, then you know the pain. It usually looks like you design a certificate in Canva or Photoshop. You duplicate it a bunch of times. You change out the name one by one. You export one by one. You attach PDFs and email one by one. And you pray you didn't misspell someone's name or send the wrong file to the wrong person. So the main problem that Certifier is trying to solve is simple. Manual certificates and badges are slow and error prone. And if you're doing this at any real scale, you need a system. What Certifier is? Certifier is a platform to design, issue, manage, and track digital certificates and badges at scale. So instead of making 100 PDFs manually, Certifier lets you design a certificate or badge template once, automatically personalize it using dynamic fields like name, issue in bulk using a spreadsheet upload or native integrations, send branded emails automatically, give recipients a login-free link where they can download, share, and verify. And then you can track engagement with analytics. It's made for organizations that issue credentials like course creators and training providers, universities and education programs, corporate learning and development teams, safety trainings like OSHA-style programs, CPD and CPE credential programs, workshops, webinars, and communities. They also work with 2,000 plus organizations and have used 10 plus million credentials through the platform only in the last year. So this isn't some tiny side project software. It's built for serious volume. Now let me show you the full workflow step by step because the demo is the whole point of this video. Step-by-step tutorial. Create a certificate, send in bulk, and track results. All right, here's the rough plan for this walkthrough. We're going to create a certificate design, a template, add dynamic fields. Name is going to be the big one here. Create a group, think course, program, or event. Upload a spreadsheet and bulk issue credentials. Customize the email template, like branding options, and see what the recipient sees. So download, share, and verify the certificates. We'll also check analytics, like opens, downloads, and shares. All right, let's get into it. So if you want to go ahead and follow along with this video, we've got a link for you down in the description where you can get started with Certifier for free. With their free plan, you can issue 250 certificates or badges, all for free. Designing your first certificate template. All right, so to go ahead and create the certificate template, we'll come over here into the sidebar, and under graphic assets, we'll go to design templates, and we'll click right here. Now here we can go ahead and click on the plus sign to create a design template. And again, you can choose between certificate or badge. We'll do certificate for this tutorial. So now here we've got all these different templates to choose from. Now right off the bat, we can filter between a landscape certificate or a portrait style certificate if you're going for that vertical look. We'll do landscape for this, and then here we can come to category. So if this is a course, a CPD, a webinar, an appreciation, you can go ahead and come in here and update this. We'll go ahead and select appreciation for this just to keep it simple. Now here we can also filter by style or color. You know, maybe you want a white one or a green one. You can go ahead and do that here. So what I like to do is just come in here and click on a couple different ones till I see something that, you know, looks like a good starting point. All right, so far I'm liking this one. This looks pretty good. Now what we can do is we can click in here and change any of this. So obviously I am not the Green City Alliance, so I'd want to come in here and change this to my own alliance or my own branding. Now for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete it to get rid of that. And here we go. This is a certificate of appreciation, but I want to change this. This is going to be a certificate of appreciation for subscribing to the channel. We're saying for subscribing, because if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And then we'll go ahead and just move this up. And what I really like is it's got these like built-in margins here, so you can keep things nice and aligned. So we want to keep that in the middle. And I think that looks pretty good. If I click away, maybe a little higher up, give that a little more padding. And there we go. That's looking pretty good. Again, we can go ahead and edit anything in here. So I don't think I need all this text for this tutorial. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that and bring this down here. And recognition and appreciation of liking and subscribing. There we go. Come in here, change this to my name, and we'll go ahead and just get rid of this one over here, this one over here. We'll go ahead and move this over. We'll go ahead and select all of that and then move this over. And I'm gonna go ahead and group all that together and then make that just a little bit bigger. We'll make this a bit bigger as well. And there we go. That's just how easy it is to go ahead and edit this. Adding dynamic fields. This is the whole point. All right, so now we need the dynamic attributes. This is the feature that takes you from a pretty template to an automated system. Dynamic fields are placeholders that autofill per recipient. And the one that you absolutely need is the recipient name, because if the name is hard-coded into the template, you're right back to manual work. So you add a dynamic field for recipient name. Then if you want to make it even more useful, you can add custom attributes too, like the course name, the completion date, certificate ID, score or level, like B2 or advanced, and an instructor name. This is where you can make the credential feel super legit and specific, not a generic piece of paper. Certifier also lets you preview what this looks like for different recipients, so you can sanity check it before issuing. So as we can see, there are actually already some attributes in here, some of those dynamic fields. So I'm gonna go ahead and just group these. We'll go ahead and move this down a little bit, but as you can see, this recipient name right here is an attribute, but let's say that that wasn't there. So if you need to add different dynamic fields, you can come right here to this attributes button right here. And as you can see, we have the recipient name that's in use, but currently we're not using any of these other dynamic fields. So we have a couple different options under credential, a couple different options under user, as well as the group name. So to use one of these, you just click on use, and then you can see that it popped up right here. And maybe we'll put that down here at the bottom. So at this point, you've got a template that looks on brand, includes dynamic name fields and maybe a few extras. Now we need to organize it. Add a QR code and make it useful. So next up are QR codes. So now you can add a QR code that points anywhere, like your website. But the better move is usually to add a QR code that points to the verification page. Why? Because this solves a real problem. If someone gets a PDF forwarded around, how do you prove it's real? A verification link or QR code that leads back to the credential page makes it easy for someone to confirm authenticity. So in the editor, you add a QR element and choose the verification version so it links to the credential itself. It's a small detail, but it's a big deal if you're issuing credentials that actually matter. So over here on the left-hand side, we can see QR codes here. And again, you can have a custom URL here, but the more powerful one is the verification page. And we'll put this down here in the corner just like that. Now, once we're happy with our certificate template, what we can go ahead and do is click Create Design Template. So we'll go ahead and click on Create Design Template, and this will be called My Design 1, but if you wanted to call this something else, you can go ahead and just type that name in right there. Create a credential template: course, program, event, cohort. So in Certifier, what used to be called a group is now called a credential template. So this is basically your main container for issuing credentials. So if you run a course, cohort, a workshop, an employee training program, or an event, each of those would live inside its own credential template. You'll create a template, give it a name, and connect it to the certificate design that you just made. And nothing really changed here, just the name. The functionality is the same if you're used to groups. You can also add extra details inside your credential template, like level, duration, format, description, criteria for earning. So to go ahead and do this, as we just created our first certificate template, I'm actually being prompted right now to create a credential template. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we'll go ahead and call this subscriber certificate tutorial. And as you can see, it went ahead and included that design that we just created. So we can go ahead and fill out these enhanced details here. So under type, we'll go ahead and put this as a certification. Level, we'll put this as introductory. Format, this was online. Duration, we'll call this 30 minutes. Price, this was free. Skills, we'll go ahead and leave that blank for now. All right, so far that looks good. So we'll go ahead and just click on create credential template from here. And sweet, we're getting the confirmation that we just created our credential template. So we'll go ahead and click on got it. And we can also preview what this looks like. So if we go ahead and click on this is what it'll look like for the recipients once it's issued. So it's got all that information that we just filled out, and that's looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and come back here. Sweet. Now we're ready for the best part, bulk issuing. Customize the email template. All right, now let's talk about email, because this is where a lot of certificate tools feel cheap. You issue a nice credential, then the email looks like some random system notification. Certifier pushes full branding control, and part of that is the email template. This is especially important if you're a course creator or training provider, because your brand is your business. All right, so to get to the email templates, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll back out of the credential templates. We'll open up the sidebar on the left here, and now we'll come to email templates. So here we go. We've got a couple different ones in here already. We've got a credential expired email, a credential expiration reminder, as well as a credential delivery. So this is actually the default email that will go out as of right now. So what we can do, we can either edit this, or what we're going to actually do is we can come in here to create email template. So we'll create a credential delivery. So this is the email that your students will receive to get their certificate. All right, so again, as you can see, this is very blank. What we'd want to do is come in here and insert our own logo. So we'll go ahead, we'll come over here to image. We'll go ahead and upload a logo. There we go. And now we can go ahead and have our logo inserted in there for the SaaS report channel. Go ahead and remove that. We'll make this a little bit smaller. There we go. And then we can come in here and edit this similar to the other template. So we can come down here to branding. We can change the background color, the body color, the border radius, the border color. We can make changes to the button. Maybe we want to make it the same color as that. So let's go ahead, click here. We'll make this more of a purple. There we go. And the text color, we'll make this match with kind of an orange. All right. And we can also come in here and change any of the text itself as well. Now we can also add those dynamic fields here as well, similar to the certificate template. Now, once we're happy with this, we can go ahead and click on create email template, and this will go ahead and save it. We can come to our credential templates here. We can click on this and come to the email settings, and we can go ahead and change the default settings here. So, okay, this is the custom one that we just created. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So that's good to go. Bulk issue certificates using a spreadsheet. So this is where most tools either shine or fall apart, because bulk issuing can mean anything. So here's how Certifier frames it. You can upload a spreadsheet, CSV or Excel style, with recipients, and Certifier generates personalized credentials automatically. So the spreadsheet usually has name, email, and any other fields that you want to map, like completion date. You upload that file inside of the credential template. Then Certifier asks you to map the attributes. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so let's come here and we're going to go ahead and click on issue credentials, and we'll upload via a spreadsheet. And we'll go ahead and select the credential template that we created, the subscriber certificate tutorial. We'll go ahead and check this box and click add recipients. Now we can go ahead and upload the recipient list, and it looks like it went ahead and got it. So it got the name and the email. So we'll go ahead and select those two, and it gives us some sample data in there. So we can see that these are actual names, and we can see that these are emails down below. So that's great. That's exactly what we want. Now we can go ahead and click next. All right, and here is the mapping. So the name, we'll give it an attribute. This is recipient name. And what this is doing is this is mapping those dynamic fields that we created in both the certificate as well as the email. So we'll be pulling from this data. So we'll select this column as the recipient name. We'll select this as the email. There we go. And next we can go ahead and click on preview. So we just uploaded 120 names and emails and it took just a second. So here we go. Now we can go ahead and preview the actual certificate. And what we can do is we can select who we want to preview this for. So this is for Jordan Anderson. Maybe we want to see what it looks like for Parker Smith. And you can see just how easy Certifier makes it to do this at scale. Now we can also preview the credential URL. So this is what the whole page will look like. So again, this is that data that we created in the credential template. We can also preview the email over here. So again, we went in there, added our own branding and whatnot. So that's awesome. Next, once we're ready and we're sure that this looks good to go, we can go ahead and issue those credentials. So what we can do, we can issue immediately, schedule it for later, or we could not email them. But we'll go ahead and leave this as is, click issue immediately. So now you can choose how you want to issue. You can issue it immediately or schedule for later, or don't email at all if you want to distribute the links another way. Scheduling is a big deal for events. Like if you want everyone to get their badge at 9 p.m. after the event ends, you can schedule it. Now, once you hit send, the credentials are issued in bulk. No manual PDF exports, no manual emails, no 50 separate attachments. That's the workflow win. So now we need to check the recipient view. So as a recipient, they get an email. They click the link and they land on a credential page or portal. What's awesome is that they don't need to create an account. It's login free. From there, they can download the certificate, either a PDF or an image format like a PNG, share it, verify it, and post it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn sharing is a huge part of the whole digital credentials idea because people actually like showing certificates publicly. So if you're running professional certifications, career programs, training programs, your recipients sharing on LinkedIn is basically free promotion for your program. And for communities or events, QR verification plus share options make it feel even more official. So here we go. I went ahead and sent myself this certificate. So we can go ahead and click on the email here. And as you can see, there's the email template that we created. We'll go ahead, click on view credential. And there we go. We have our own credential there and it looks fantastic. Track analytics, opens, downloads, shares. All right, now we check analytics. So this is another feature that separates it from I made a certificate from I run a credential system. So let's go ahead and take a look at the analytics here. If we come back to the dashboard, we can go ahead and come down to analytics. And as you can see, we sent out those 121 credentials right there. We only opened up one of them. That was the one that I just opened up. And we can see the engagement there as well. Now we can also see marketing insights over here. We can see the name, the credential template, number of views, and any channels, as well as we can click on this pathways tab over here as well. Use cases where Certifier makes the most sense. So now that you've seen the workflow, let's talk about where this tool actually fits best, because I don't love the idea of every tool is for everyone. Certifier is at its best when issuing credentials is part of your system. Course completion certificates. If you're a course creator, you can issue completion certificates automatically. Keep them on brand and give students an easy way to share. If you're issuing certificates manually right now, the bulk sending and dynamic fields alone will save you a ton of time. Workshops and webinars. Workshops usually have attendance tracking, fast turnaround, and a lot of people. Certifier's ability to schedule issuance and use QR code verification is perfect here. Professional certifications. If you're doing anything that needs credibility, verification links matter. Digital credentials with verification are way stronger than here's my PDF. Corporate training. Corporate training is where organization, tracking, team workflows, and compliance matter more. Certifier calls out GDPR and ISO compliance in their corporate training set, plus team collaboration and API access. So if you're using credentials internally or across departments, the structure really helps. Communities and member achievements. If you run a community and you want to award member milestones or achievements, badges can be a fun way to increase engagement. And again, the shareability makes it spread. Extra features that help once you're doing this seriously. So there are a few features that aren't step one, but they matter once it becomes part of your business. Integrations, Zapier, Make, Pipedream. So Certifier has over 5,000 plus integrations via tools like Zapier, Make, and Pipedream. This matters if your workflow is more complex, like someone finishes a course in your LMS that triggers issuance automatically, that triggers tagging in your CRM, that triggers a follow-up email sequence. You can build a full automation chain. Certifier has a ton of native integrations and built-in automation options, so you're not stuck duct taping things together. You can use tools like Zapier, Make, or Pipedream, and it works with thousands of apps that way. But what's even more interesting is what Certifier can already do on its own. For example, you can automatically issue certificates the moment something happens, like someone finishes a course, passes a quiz, or submits a form, attends a webinar, and it doesn't stop there. Once that certificate is created, Certifier can instantly trigger other actions, like send the credential via email, update your CRM, log the data in Google Sheets, notify your team in Slack, sync everything back to your LMS. So instead of manually exporting names, designing certificates, and emailing people one by one, it just runs in the background. And if you want even more control, they give you options like API access to plug directly into your system, webhooks for real-time updates across your tools, or even custom integrations if your setup is more advanced. So whether you're using platforms like Kajabi, Teachable, HubSpot, Salesforce, or even just Google Forms, Certifier becomes the layer that connects everything and handles the entire credential process for you. White label branding and custom domain. If you want the credential experience to look like it lives inside your brand, white label matters. Custom domain is a big piece of that too. It's basically, this is our credential page, not this is some third-party tool. Real-time editing after sending. This is one of those features you don't care about until you need it. If you accidentally issue a certificate with a typo or the wrong name or the wrong date, you can fix it inside the dashboard, and it updates in real time. That saves you from reissuing everything. Pricing, white labeling, and what you actually get. All right, let's talk about the part that everyone scrolls for, pricing. Certifier's main call to action is simple. Try it for free. And this isn't one of those 14-day trial and then surprise charges sort of setups. They offer a free plan that includes 250 certificates or badges at no cost. It's free forever. Plus, you've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can go ahead and try the platform out without any worries. And when they say free forever, they mean the credentials that you issue on that plan stay hosted and accessible. They don't disappear later on. Now, once you start scaling with bigger cohorts, more automation, and need deeper branding, that's where the paid plans start to make sense. And here's where some of the secondary features really start to matter. 100% white label, custom domains, and full branding. So if branding matters to you, and it should, Certifier gives you full white label control on the higher tiers. That means your logo, your brand colors, your email templates, your credential portal, even your own custom domain. So instead of your recipients landing on something that feels third party, it feels like it's fully inside your ecosystem. So who is the free plan actually for? The free plan is perfect if you're testing digital credentials for the first time. You have under 250 recipients. You don't need advanced automation yet. You're validating a new program. If you're running something bigger or more branded, you'll likely move into paid tiers for white labeling and deeper automation. But the key point is this: you can actually start without risk, and that's rare in software that's built for issuing credentials at scale. Pros and considerations. So I always like to keep these sponsored reviews grounded, so here's the honest breakdown. What I like: the workflow is built for scale, not just one-off PDFs. Dynamic fields are simple and make automation real. Bulk sending is clean and easy to preview. The recipient experience is strong, login free, shareable, and verifiable. Branding control is a big deal if you care about perception. Analytics are useful for program owners, and the free plan is actually usable with 250 credentials. There's tons of native integrations, a 30-day money-back guarantee. Things to think about: if you only issue a handful of certificates once a year, you might not need a full platform. To get the most value, you need to set up your template and group structure properly. So basically, the more consistent your credential issuing is, the more this makes sense. So if you're doing certificates and badges manually right now, Certifier is the type of platform that can remove a lot of annoying work from your week. You create the design once, you automate personalization, you send in bulk, recipients get a clean experience, and you get tracking on the back end. If you want to try it, the easiest move is to start with the free plan, because 250 digital credentials free forever is enough to test it in a real program and see if it fits your workflow. So if you want to try it out for yourself, we've put a link to the free plan in the description below. This is an affiliate link, which means we do earn a small commission when you use it at no extra cost to you. And these commissions really help support the channel and allow us to continue to create free content just like this. So if you end up using it, we thank you so much in advance. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Here on the channel, we provide in-depth reviews and comparisons of different SaaS tools to help you find the best software solutions for streamlining your business and boosting your productivity. So be sure to subscribe. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you here in the next video.